Welcome to the September 16th, 2019 Clifton Park Town Board meeting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. If the angels will lead us, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Pat, if you'll call the roll.
Councilman Whalen. Here. Councilman Stanton. Here. Councilman Romano.
Here.
Councilman Wallowitz. Supervisor Barrett.
Here, entertain a motion to approve Town Board meeting minutes of September 3rd.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Romano, second by Ms. Wallowitz. Discussion.
Councilman Whalen.
Yes.
Councilman Stanton. Yes. Councilman Romano.
Yes.
Councilman Wallowitz. Yes. Supervisor Barrett.
Yes, communications and announcements. I just had a few here. Farm Fest was this weekend, and Farm Fest is an opportunity for us to highlight the farms in the town of Clifton Park. They're very important to the economy, not only in Clifton Park, but also throughout Saratoga County. Agriculture and farming is still the number one segment of our economy throughout Saratoga County, which is something that you may not realize, but that is still the case. And it's important, especially with all the new regulations that our elected leaders in Albany, at least some of them, are placing on our farms. Farming is already difficult enough. It has now been made much more challenging. So anything that we can do to support our farms, we need to do as a community. So Farm Fest is the kickoff to the fall season. The fall season is at least with our farms and what they do, the fall season is crucial. And without the support of the community, they won't be able to survive. Why are farms important? Well, it's again, like I said, a big part of our economy. As you know, the town board for a couple of decades has worked very hard to preserve open space. 1,700 acres of open space. We've had a very aggressive farmland protection program. We just recently received another grant from New York State, partnering with the Schwartz family on Ashdown Road to protect their property, their farm in perpetuity. Another 80 acres, beautiful piece of property right on the corner of 146A and Ashdown. Riverview Orchards is another one that we've protected in the past. And I'm sure many of you are very familiar with Riverview, one of our long-standing and most popular farms within town. So we need to do more and more each year. And like I said, with the new regulations that have come down from Albany, it's even more crucial. So Farm Fest is the kickoff, but it's only the beginning. So you have a lot of time to go out there and visit our farms and support them. And the weather looks like it's going to be very nice for the next week anyway. So take advantage of that good weather. Get your friends, your family out there, and go see our farms. I do want to also thank the Bishop Ferry Fire Department. They had their annual Farm Fest breakfast yesterday, and always a pleasure to go down and thank our first responders at the Bishop Ferry Fire Department for what they do for our community each and every year. So I do want to take this opportunity to thank them publicly again. Was also at the Sportsman's Club yesterday on Englemore Road, and the Sportsman Club had their annual Family Day and law enforcement shooting competition. There were law enforcement agencies represented from throughout the region, and they competed. I don't know who won. I forgot to call and ask them, but anyway, everybody was having a good time, and very competitive, as you can imagine, between the policing agencies. But everybody was having a good time, and good to see that organization continue to flourish. Also, this afternoon it was made public by CDPHP that they will be breaking ground on a new medical facility. The headline is Medical Facility of the Future coming to Clifton Park. Groundbreaking for multi-specialty medical care center set for spring of 2020. I'll just read a couple of paragraphs here to give you a sense of what will be included in the project. CDPHP is partnering with several local independent physician practices to create a multi-specialty medical care center in Clifton Park. The state-of-the-art facility, which will be located along Route 9, will provide patients with the highest level of care and customer service, and will be run by some of the best doctors in the country. The medical care center will include the following independent physician partners: Albany ENT and Allergy Services, Gastroenterology Consultants, Capital Cardiology Associates, Capital District Renal Physicians, and Ortho New York. So, as you can see, it's going to be a multifaceted facility that's going to offer tremendous services to a lot of people right here close to home. It's been great to see Clifton Park become basically a medical hub, with the initial project being the Ellis Medical Center, which was something that Clifton Park did not have. We did not have a 24/7 medical center that had the capabilities that Ellis brought to Clifton Park. After they decided to locate here at Exit 9, we've seen St. Peter's build their campus on 146. Community Care Physicians has built a large building on Route 9. We've had numerous first-class, first-rate medical facilities bringing services close to home, something we've never had prior to their arrival here in Clifton Park. And it was really a part of our thought process through the town center plan when we began thinking about that process and how it might progress back in 2008 or so, is that we needed to diversify our economy. You know, we've been heavily dependent on retail, and back in the early 2000s we were able to attract new retail and redevelop many areas of the Exit 9 commerce area. But we needed to diversify our economy, because even back 2008 in that area, you know, Amazon online shopping was becoming a larger and larger presence in our society. It was clear that that trend was going to continue. So the outlook for brick and mortar retail, as opposed to online retail, was not favorable. And certainly we've seen since then a number of high-profile retailers around the country go out of business, close stores, downscale, whatever the case may be. And it hasn't been in a positive direction, unfortunately. As we were in the process of developing the town center plan, Kmart went out. And then obviously since then, Toys R Us has closed down nationally as well. So the challenges for brick and mortar retail will continue, and we were ahead of the game. We had a plan. We wanted to diversify our economy. We've done that with hospitality, which includes hotels and restaurants, and healthcare. And it has diversified our economy. It's offered additional job opportunities close to home, and probably most importantly, very, very important services to Clifton Park people close to home, Clifton Park residents. I remember 20 years ago when I first ran for this office, you know, people saying, gee, you know, because Exit 9 at that time was not doing well, the mall was in terrible shape. You know, there's no place to shop in Clifton Park. If I want to go to the doctor, I have to go to Albany or Troy or Schenectady. If I want any kind of healthcare services, basically I have to go somewhere else. And we've worked really hard to change that, and I'm glad to say that that evolution of Exit 9 and of the Clifton Park economy continues with this announcement today from CDPHP. So very excited at the news. John's not here yet, he's still upstairs at a meeting. I was going to have him talk a little bit about that as well, but we'll catch him later. Any other communications?
Just quickly, I'd like to talk about, as part of the Farm Fest celebration, Everview Orchard's Animal Control Officer, Jerry Cook, and myself have an event called Bird Fest. It's our third year. We concentrate mostly on adoptions. Adoptions were down this year. We only had 2 kittens, but we had huge crowds all day. We had 22 vendors who work as in rescue operations, fosters, and then they had pet information about pet care. There were businesses dealing with pets. And because of the crowd, our vendors were thrilled. All of them did really well. I want to thank the Senator Tedesco stopped by and actually gave Officer Cook and myself a citation for the work we do. We called it pushing cats, but the work we do in adoptions and encouraging adoptions and our attention to pets and pet care and pet safety in our community. So, big event, looking forward again to next year. And thank you to both of you for coming.
Mrs. Standard.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Wednesday, September 18th, Youth Court is having its informational meeting. We are entering into our 6th year of Youth Court, and we're really looking forward to this next year coming up. And if you want to learn all about Youth Court, and if you have some questions, come to our meeting on September 18th. It will be at High School East in the auditorium at 7 o'clock. It's only an hour. It'll be quick, and we'll answer all your questions for you. Youth Court has been a tremendous opportunity for kids. You can give us as much as 30 minutes throughout your entire job with us at Youth Court, or you can get in and give us hours. So there's something for everyone with Youth Court, and we'd love to have a lot of the students I see here give us some of your time. And also, we have our first Repair Cafe coming up. The Green Committee is sponsoring the Repair Cafe. That will be held this Saturday at 10 o'clock at the Clifton Park Halfmoon Library. And if you have things that you really don't want to throw away and that could probably be fixed, bring them on over to the library. We'll see if some of our volunteers can fix them for you instead of throwing them into the waste stream.
And what are some good examples? I don't want anybody showing up with their car needing a brake job.
If you have things that need to be sold, if you've got toasters, if you've got lamps, glasses, anything like dolls, toys, textiles, things that are really easily repaired with some new wire, with some glue, perhaps some stitching, we can do it. If you come with a computer or a printer, we do have some volunteers that might be able to steer you in the right direction as far as how to go about fixing that. But no cell phones, we can't do cell phones. But there is a lot of things that we can do, and if we can't, we will try and help find you a solution to fixing that instead of throwing it away.
Councilwoman, are they taking donations, or you pay for the parks?
We actually are accepting some sponsorships right now. We do have 2 sponsors that are helping us with supplies because our committee members need to have the supplies to fix things with, such as the wire, the glue, the tacks, or whatever it is that we may need for whatever comes to us. So if anyone is interested in sponsoring us, just please see me after the meeting or email me at town. Thank you.
Will, can I have a question.
Yeah.
Will it be done right then, or you leave it and they take it home and they bring it back?
It will be done right there, and one of the goals of the Repair Cafe is to actually show you how to do it. So if it happens again, or perhaps maybe you can come back and help us fix someone else's item. So
Train the trainer.
train the trainer. Exactly. So it should be
Teach
very
somebody how to
interesting.
fish.
These
That's
these cafes are quite popular. Actually around, it started over in Europe, now we've got several in this area, and we do have a lot of volunteers, and they've been quite busy, so we're gonna have some food too, so, yeah, a lot
Very
of
good.
snacks.
And what time is that at the
10
library?
o'clock.
10 o'clock, very
We're here
good.
for a few hours.
As far as the youth corps, we have some students here this evening, which is great to see. They're all here in their own volition. It was their idea to be here, which we always appreciate. And if you're interested in youth court, please call my office and ask for myself or Mrs. Standart, and we'll get you the information. 7th grade and up, so don't be shy. If you're a 7th or 8th grader, and I see a young man smiling back here, so if you're a 7th or 8th grader and you want to build a resume, get volunteer hours, meet professionals in the public safety realm, meet some new friends. I mean, there's a plethora of reasons why Youth Court has been helpful to so many students, hundreds and hundreds of students, just in 6 years. So if you want to be a part of that program, please let us know, because we're getting started. Anyone else at this time? All right, very good. We have a presentation this evening, something a little different, but I was talking to the D'Ambra family recently, Connie and Tom D'Ambra. They've always been incredibly supportive of the town of Clifton Park. They've lived here a long time. As a matter of fact, that beautiful painting that we proudly put on the wall there up top was a gift of theirs that they gave to the town. They've also given us other gifts, and we greatly appreciate that. But they were having a huge yard sale, and they wanted to do it in conjunction with Farm Fest, and wanted to donate the proceeds to an organization, and we discussed it and chose the Saratoga County Veterans Trust Fund. So Tom and Connie are here tonight. I'd like them to say a few words, and then we'll tell everybody what the trust fund's all about. So what do you say? And then we'll do the check presentation. Yeah, come on up, please. Hey, Tom, you can put a tie on He said he wasn't going to. So I gotta-
Hi, I'm Connie D'Ambra. This is my husband, Tom. I'm really not good at public speaking in front of people, but I'm really good at speaking in front of horses, llamas, and little yabby dogs, so please bear with me. But seriously, I am very proud to live in this community full of very kind and very generous citizens. People just gave a lot more than, typical yard sale items, for a quarter. I would say, it's for a good cause, how about $2? And they'd say, okay, well, here's 5. It just amazes me how everyone takes care of each other. And one of the best things about what we did was, and one of the reasons why I did it was, until a very short time ago, we did not know the Saratoga County Veterans Trust Fund existed. But Saratoga County actually honored my dad, who passed away a few months ago, and he was a Korean War veteran. And it meant so much to my family. It meant a lot to me because he and I were the only 2 left in our immediate family, and I'm not including spouses and children, but it was just, my dad was the last of his generation, and all my cousins were, they have each other, they have siblings, I had none. And for my dad to be honored in this manner, and for every other veteran that has been honored and will be honored since, in all the services that the Veterans Fund provides to the veterans of this county, amazed me. And it's truly a wonderful organization to support. And
Fantastic.
would you like to know?
All right.
Just to add too, we'd like to thank, obviously, Supervisor Barrett for his support and help in getting the word out. Numerous family members from our Donna Rag and John B. to my brother and his wife who came in from Massachusetts. And Connie's our best friend. We had a lot of help, and we're really grateful to the community for the support.
Fantastic.
I have a few checks in here for you.
All right. Oh, a few? Beautiful. Well, come on down.
All right. Well,
Let's see what the...
very, very happy to announce this envelope contains $3,575.
Wow. Thank you so much. I always say I'm a member of the County Board of Supervisors, and one thing I've said for years is one of the things I'm most proud of with Saratoga County government is the job that we do as a group to honor our veterans and also support our veterans. Now, I've been fortunate to be chairman of the Veterans Committee of Saratoga County on a few different occasions. And it's certainly the most rewarding chairmanship, I believe, that somebody can be appointed to at the county board. And we try very hard to get the word out about the Saratoga County Veterans Trust Fund. So what is it? The Veterans Trust Fund accepts private donations. The money goes directly to veterans that live in Saratoga County. Give you a few examples, a couple examples. Say there's a veteran who is trying to hold down a job. He's had some issues assimilating back to civilian life. Maybe he was deployed and was just separated from the military, having some assimilation issues. He gets a job, he's holding down a job, transmission in the car goes. He can apply, he or she can apply to the Saratoga County Veterans Trust Fund, and chances are they'll be awarded the funds to pay for that transmission. Maybe there's a veteran and she loses her job, and or for whatever reason, maybe it ended up being too far from home, maybe she was laid off, maybe the company went out of business, and she's having difficulty paying her rent. You know, the trust fund is an opportunity for a veteran to get a couple months' rent to tide them through, so when they get their next job, they'll be back in good stead. So those are just a couple of examples of what the trust fund does. Your money stays local. Your money goes directly to veterans to help them with real life issues that many of us have gone through during our lifetime. So this $3,500 is incredibly important. This is going to help several veterans with the types of issues that I just mentioned. But we do accept private donations, and again, we like to spread the word as much as possible. And Connie had just mentioned a ceremony where her dad was honored, and that is the monthly Saratoga County Deceased Veterans Ceremony, where there's every month in Saratoga County we have about an hour-long, very, very, very nice ceremony. A lot of pomp and circumstance to honor a veteran who is deceased that was from Saratoga County. So Connie's dad was a Clifton Park resident and recently passed, so he was honored. So again, I just want to thank you so much for this very generous gift. And if you have another yard sale, keep us in mind. We appreciate it. It's good.
Thank you.
How you doing? All right. Another round of applause for the Danby crew. Yes, you do have permission to vacate the premises. But thanks again. We greatly appreciate it, and we'll get this to the trust fund tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we do have several resolutions for consideration. Pat, if you could read through those and we'll consider each one individually.
A resolution scheduling a public hearing to be held on November 4th, 2019 regarding the Town of Clifton Park Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program. Whereas the Town of Clifton Park operates a Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and whereas to continue the program, the town is required to prepare and adopt a written PHA plan that establishes local policies for administration of the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program for the next 5 years in accordance with regulations of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And whereas the town board wishes to hold a public hearing to consider adoption of the annual plan establishing local policies for the administration of the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program in accordance with the regulations of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And whereas the town board has reviewed and the attached proposed 5-year plan consistent with the Section 8 Housing Voucher Program, now therefore be resolved that the public hearing will be public hearing to consider adoption of the new 5-year plan establishing local policies for administering the Town of Clifton Park Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program is hereby set forth and scheduled for November 4th, 2019 at 7:05 p.m. in the Wood Memorial Room, 1 Town Hall Plaza, Clifton Park, and the town clerk is directed to publish notice of same. A resolution authorizing the repairs at the Old Knott Farm Pump Station. Whereas Michael O'Brien, Collection Systems Manager, has determined that repairs are required for the Old Knott Farm sewer pump, and whereas quotes were received and Emmons Metro LLC, Linans, New York, has been retained to repair sewer pump for an amount not to exceed $1,786, and whereas the Sewer Collection Systems Manager has determined that this repair will renew the pump station at a considerable savings over a full replacement. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the controller is authorized to transfer $786 from the fund balance to the equipment line for payment to the Emmons Metro LLC. Resolution authorizing Best Paving and Seal Coating Albany, New York, to pave a turnaround on Clifton Park Center Road at the tennis courts in the Clifton Knolls Park District. Whereas the town board has, as commissioners of the Clifton Knolls Park District, wishes to authorize improvements to the automobile access at the tennis courts. And whereas the Department of Buildings and Grounds solicited quotes for paving the turnaround at the tennis courts on Clifton Park Center Road, and whereas Best Paving and Seal Coating submitted the sole quote to pave the turnaround area near the courts in an amount not to exceed $3,000. Now therefore be resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign the 2019 paving proposal for paving the turnaround at the tennis courts on Clifton Park Center Road not to exceed $3,000, and be further resolved that the controller is authorized to transfer $3,000 from fund balance and the lines listed for payment to Best Paving and Seal Coating, Albany, New York. Resolution authorizing the purchase of an international crew cab dump truck for town lands and highway department purposes from an existing contract with Onondaga County. Whereas Highway Superintendent Dan Bull has requested authorization for the purchase of an international CD 515 dump truck with plow for use by the highway department for the attached. Whereas General Municipal Law Section 10316 authorizes the extension of equipment and equipment configurations and awarded pricing discounts to all political subdivisions in New York State based upon qualified bid responses to an individual municipality entity after public notice of bidding. Whereas the prices quoted are extended from the Onondaga County bid award under the provisions of New York State General Municipal Law, Section 10316, which allows one municipality to utilize existing contracts of another municipality as long as that contract was pursuant to competitive bidding consistent with state law and made available for use by other government entities. And whereas Mr. Bull has recommended that the international truck and plow from Navistar Inc., Loudville, New York, be accepted to meet the needs of the department, and whereas the international C515 truck with plow is available from Navistar Inc., Loudville, New York, for $128,468.30, based on a publicly accepted bid from Onondaga County and available to the town at that bid price pursuant to General Municipal Law 10316. And whereas by resolution number 55 of 2018, the town board authorized the execution of a master municipal lease with KeyBank for cost-effective financing of town vehicles, including highway equipment. Now therefore be resolved that the highway department is authorized to purchase one 2019 model CD 515 SFA dump truck with plow package from Navistar Inc., Albany Shaker Road, Loudville, New York, per the attached list, and be it further resolved that the Clifton Park Town Board hereby authorizes the purchase under Onondaga County Contract Number 7974 in an amount not to exceed $128,468.30 to be paid through the Master Municipal Lease with Key Bank. A resolution authorizing the purchase of an asphalt hot box reclaimer for highway department purposes from an existing contract with Suffolk County. Whereas Highway Superintendent Dan Ball has requested authorization for the purchase of a KM International 8000T asphalt hot box reclaimer for the highway department per the attached. And whereas General Municipal Law, Section 10316, authorizes the extension of equipment configurations and awarded price and discounts to all political subdivisions in New York State based upon qualified bid responses to an individual municipal entity after public notice and bidding. And whereas the prices quoted are extended from the Suffolk County bid award under the provisions of New York State General Municipal Law, Section 10316, which allows one municipality to utilize existing contracts of another municipality as long as that contract was pursuant to competitive bidding consistent with state law and made available for use by other government entities. And whereas Mr. Ball has recommended that the KM International 8000T asphalt hot box reclaimer be purchased to best meet the needs of the department. And whereas the equipment is available from Truist Inc., Fort Edward, New York, for $41,748 based on a publicly accepted bid from Suffolk County and available to the town at that bid price pursuant to General Municipal Law 10316. And be further resolved that the Highway Department is authorized to purchase one KM International 8000T asphalt hot box reclaimer for the attached. And be further resolved that the Clifton Park Town Board hereby authorizes the purchase under Suffolk County Contract Number 18-14.9-11 in an amount not to exceed $41,748 to be paid from vehicle and equipment line. A resolution awarding the additional highway paving projects to HMA Contracting Corporation pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 103. Whereas by resolution number 213, 2019, the town board increased the highway paving budget for the 2019 season to allow the department to complete additional paving projects during the current paving season. And whereas HMA Contracting Corporation, Schaghticoke, New York, submitted a responsive bid of 6F grade asphalt, $60.23 per ton in place, and grade 7F, $61.23 per ton in place, and dense binder grade, $55.73 per ton in place, including $4,300 per day charge for road milling crews in response to the town's publicly open bid opened on March 20th, 2019. And whereas HMA Contracting has work crews and capacity to complete the additional paving projects contemplated by the increased budget amounts, and whereas Dan Bull, Superintendent of Highways, recommends that additional paving projects be awarded to HMA Contracting Corporation as the next most responsive and responsible bidder, and whereas HMA Contracting Corporation has performed roadway improvement work for the town and has demonstrated the qualifications and ability to kindly perform the duties and expectations outlined in the contract for which they bid. Now therefore be resolved that the additional paving projects for the remainder of 2019 be awarded to HMA Contracting Corporation, and be further resolved that the town board authorizes the superintendent of highways to sign all necessary contracts and agreements with HMA Contracting Corporation.
Okay. Any questions on the resolutions? You can read the headings, we'll consider each one individually.
Resolution number 217 of 2019, a resolution scheduling a public hearing to be held on November 4th, 2019 regarding the Town of Clifton Park Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. We were recently notified by our Section 8 program administrator that we need to establish a 5-year plan, and also that process includes a public hearing. So this resolution will set the public hearing for November 4th at 7:05. Okay.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilman Marlin? Vote carried.
Yes.
Resolution number 218 of 2019, a resolution authorizing the repairs at Old Knock Farm pump station.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Mr. Romano, second by Ms. Swallowate. Discussion.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilman Ballwood? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 219 of 2019, a resolution authorizing Best Paving and Seal Coating Albany, New York, to pave a turnaround on the Clifton Park Center Road at the tennis courts in the Clifton Knolls parking lot.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. Dan?
Yeah, the Park District contacted me. They had some paving done over there in the spring alongside the tennis court, and it's a little narrow on the east side there, and it's a little risky backing out on the Clifton Park Center Road. So we met over there and took a look at the spot and met with the pavers and came up with a nice little turnaround so people can back in and then pull out onto Clifton Park Center Road safely.
Right. And this is over by the tennis courts.
Correct, right down to the east side of the courts on Clifton Park Center Road.
Yeah, it's a much better situation now. If this will further improve it, I think it's a good move. All right. Discussion, questions for Dan?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilman Ballwood?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 220 of 2019, a resolution authorizing the purchase of an international approved cab dump truck for town lands and highway department purposes from an existing contract with Onondaga County.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Ms. Wallwood. This is piggybacking on another contract there, right now.
That's correct.
So
Onondaga is a
tell
very,
us a little bit about this vehicle.
Yep. Onondaga County does a very good job at designing vehicles. One of the bids that we're piggybacking off of is many of our trucks are, let me rephrase that. We're transitioning to where many of our trucks can be used year-round instead of just plowing. This is in addition to that. This is a truck we can use for all 4 seasons. It's going to be slightly smaller, significantly smaller than our full-size plow trucks. There's many portions of Western Clifton Park that are older roads. They're more narrow. Mailboxes seem to be closer to the road, so we're going to do our best to adapt to those locations. The important parts about this is that this still helps us streamline our fleet. It's an international truck, which we have several internationals. We also have many Viking plow packages and bodies on our trucks. We have this is that as well. And what's even better is that this is a 4-wheel drive that we can fit into tighter spaces. So that's going to help us move more material and work on construction projects that are in some hard to reach spots.
Okay. Good. Well, it's certainly a lot less expensive than a full-size plow truck. That's for sure.
Yep, it's not going to carry as much salt,
That's for sure.
but we're going to be using it far more efficiently.
Good. I like that. All right, very good. Any questions for Dan? Okay.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilman Ballwood?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 221 of 2019, a resolution authorizing the purchase of an asphalt hot box reclaimer for highway department purposes from an existing contract with Suffolk County.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. I like this one.
This
Tell us about this one.
This is a good one.
Yeah, I like this one.
To give a little background on what happens during the winter, come December, all the asphalt plants shut down. When you want to fill a pothole, you want to use asphalt that is very, very, very hot, so that's the right way to do it. You can't really do that in the winter when the plants are closed. This reclaimer, we call it the reclaimer, you can take clean asphalt that's cold, throw it in the reclaimer, and it reheats it. So we could set it on a timer for 1 o'clock in the morning. It heats it for several hours. By 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning when we come in, we can go out and repair potholes in the winter the way they should be repaired. We get calls a lot where we use something called winter mix. People say, hey, can you come fill this pothole? We fill it. It's just a cold patch. There's not really much to it, and it stays for a little while, but it pops back up, and we want to do a better job, and this machine will help us do a better job during winter.
So it's like setting the timer on your coffee pot, so that way when you wake up in the morning, it's already done.
Yep, and it just doesn't smell as good.
Yeah, right. And it's dangerous.
And it's highly
No, I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that, because wintertime is obviously prime time for potholes. So if we can reduce the amount of time we're spending, because if you just do it once and be done with it, as opposed to having to go back and repatch, and with the cold patch, as you mentioned, that's not nearly as efficient use of our personnel and materials.
As a side note, in my research of this material, I called several departments across the state of New York that had purchased this, and the larger cities are now buying fleets of them.
Yeah.
So their City of Schenectady has 5 on order right now.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I could think of a couple other prospects that might want to think about investing in this type of equipment as well. But they should
Yes,
go
I
on.
do. Dan, some of the things that you do in the winter require, or depend on the temperature of the road. Is this going to be like that? If it's really, really cold, can you still go around?
Yes, absolutely. The most important thing is just to make sure it's dry. We have kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been to the big barbecues where they use these natural gas lances to light charcoal, things like that. We have those where we can go out and heat up the potholes, dry things out, and get them ready for this. So yeah, super easy, and yeah, we'll be ready.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Wells.
Is this sort of a new invention, or has this been around for a while and it's becoming now more cost effective?
It's been around for a while, but the process has been around for a while, but now it's all condensed into one machine. And it's now become extremely affordable with these numbers. Yeah, it used to be, you used to have like 2 crews going out. We can just put this on one truck with 2 or 3 guys, and everything they'll handle it.
For about 10 years, the whole version will come out.
Yeah. I mean, to tell you the truth, they do have for light commercial use, ones that you can slide in the back of a pickup truck.
Cool. Very good. Any other questions? All right. Pat?
Councilman Manley?
Yes.
Councilman Sandra?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilman Malowitz?
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution number 222 of 2019, a resolution awarding the additional paving projects to HMA Contracting Corporation pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 103.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Whalen. Dan, tell us a little bit about HMA
Sure.
and the bidding process.
Sure. HMA. Last week, the town board was kind enough to spend some additional funds on paving. As we get closer to the end of the season, it's easier to get another paving crew out there, so we'll have 2 running simultaneously. HMA has worked full-time and part-time for the town of Clifton Park. They've done a great job for us, so we like having them back. And they're going to be able to start next week, so we'll have not only Best Paving working, but also HMA as well.
Good. Yeah, we did allocate an additional $500,000 not long ago for some additional paving, and so this is good. This will help us get that money spent improving roads before the bad weather comes, which unfortunately is inevitable.
59 days to our 1-year anniversary of our first snowfall last year. Sorry to remind everybody.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
It's always a T- for highway department.
And after days like today, it seems so far away, but once October comes, it'll change quick. So unfortunately, but yeah, this week's just going to be gorgeous all week, I guess. All right, any questions for Dan at this point?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilman Sandra?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilman Malowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes. Any other business to come before the board this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to public privilege. If you'd like to speak on a town matter, please raise your hand. State your name and address for the record, and please keep it to 5 minutes or less.
No,
Now we got some guys in the back that probably want to talk about a town issue. No? No? Sure now. All right. Okay.
okay. Maybe have a motion to adjourn.
Councilman Whalen? Councilman Sandra?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilman Malowitz? Supervisor Barrett?
Yes, thank you.